Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 2 tips for tomorrow's racing. But before we get into them, let's quickly just reflect on how our tips performed today. In the end, it wasn't a bad day here on my YouTube channel, as we came away with a winning nap at Brighton. That ran for us in the lucky last with a horse called Raven's Ark for Charlie Bennett and Hughie Morrison. Dug deep in the end to win. And to be honest, like I said in my preview, it should have been good enough to win that race if it was anywhere near its official rating. Ran in some decent 3-year-old handicaps last year, particularly ran well at Ascot, and probably just suffered going up in the weights for that. But running in the week race today, was able to get the job done and showed a really good hardy attitude. The other tip that we put up ran in the jumps card at Huntington tonight. That was Stony Mountain. Was a little bit disappointing in the end, but I think he might have picked up a knock. Because if you actually watch the race back, if you haven't seen it, he was travelling quite well, and he was still in contention, but all of a sudden he just dropped out like a light, and in the end was, like I said, he was disappointing but pulled up really quickly. And Gavin Sheehan was looking down, so hopefully he's okay. But yeah, you'd probably be able to put a line through that run, but that was the only disappointment of the day. So yeah, not too bad from our 2 selections there, and hopefully we can do the same again and have a winner with our selections tomorrow at Ayr and at Kempton. And that's where we're going to be starting tomorrow with my first tip. It's going to be at Ayr in the 2:45. And we're going to be going with my next best here with a horse called Mo Henry, which at the current time of recording was available at 14 to 1 with SkyBet, and they're paying 5 places on this race, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now this horse, I think, has got a race in him still, despite being a veteran now and not winning for quite a while. His last win came back in 2017, but he has still shown glimmers of form on some of his most recent outings. On his penultimate start, he ran a good race at Thirsk, finishing in 3rd place, running on quite strongly there. Then finished 5th at Ayr last time out, but I think you can forgive him that run. There were a lot of hold-up horses that day. There was a lack of pace, and in the end it paid to be racing at the front end from the get-go, and that was ultimately his undoing. But he did stay on in the closing stages, but he probably needed that strong pace to take him into the race. But tomorrow, I think he's got a really good chance in this race, because I think he's going to get that strong pace that he needs to be aimed at. Now, if you look at the race setup tomorrow, you're going to have Tanaska, Major Valentine, Frida Manila, who was making the run in that day at Thirsk and faded late on. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of pace here, and I think it could just set up for the closers like Mo Henry. And off a mark of 52, I think that's well within his capabilities, and in a race of this nature, I think he's got a fairly decent chance of running a really big race at a double-figure price. Adrian Keeley as well, his yard aren't going too badly. They had a nice winner last week with Wob 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 at York. So yeah, I think yeah, this horse, the race might just suit him tactically tomorrow. All those horses I mentioned as well are all drawn around him, so if he can just sit off those and be played late by Sean Davis, I think he's got a really good chance, and that's why he's going to be my next best of the day. We then go to Kempton for the evening action on the all-weather there with my nap. It runs in the 7:35 with a horse called Valyrian Steel for Jack Mitchell and Roger Varian. Now this horse, you had to put a line through his last run last time out, but I think you can forgive him for that effort. He did finish last, but it was quite a competitive little race, and quite a few of the horses in there just didn't handle the track at all. Epsom's always a really challenging track, especially for inexperienced horses. He's a very lightly raced, this 4-year-old, and I think you can put a line through that run. Probably needed the run as well, so I think he had a few excuses that day. Moving back onto the all-weather, I think will be a positive. His only run on the all-weather came at Newcastle, but he won there on debut, and he had some smart form last season as well. He was well punted, I remember, in a handicap at York, running on quite strongly. So I think he does stay the trip, and I think off a mark of 85 in this company, he's got a good chance of getting the job done for us. Now, if you look at the setup of the race tomorrow, Archie Watson's horse will probably make the run in under Holly Doyle. Maybe he might be able to get an easy lead, but I think he's too high in the weights. He's carrying a big weight as well. And I think Varian Steel, off a mark of 85, has a little bit more to offer. Also, as well, Roger Varian's yard are going great guns. They're operating at around about 32% strike rate last time I checked earlier today. So the yard have been in really good form of late. And I just think there's a bit more to come from this horse, Varian Steel. So that's why he is going to be my nap of the day. So they're the 2 tips for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you'll be backing. Also as well, if you're still enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. Also as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please game responsibly. Hopefully we can have a couple of winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.